Hey guys, it's Jess the Glam Pixie. Today, I'm going to bring you my Splat Berry Blast review. That's why I look like a hot mess. I've actually already bleached my hair. I, in the past, have not had the best luck with Splat's bleach kit, so this time around, I opted to not use it. I have actually already done my hair using the Ion Color Brilliance Powder and Salon Care Volume 30 Developer. I just did a really quick bleach on it for about 10 minutes. That's why it's very patchy. Now I'm gonna explain why it is patchy and I didn't go all the way to like a level 8 blonde. I'm actually not gonna use this color as the only one. I'm gonna use this as my base and then put Manic Panic Ultraviolet over it. But I figured I've never used this product and I might as well just give you guys a review, because when I was looking on YouTube, there are very few reviews. And the ones that are reviews are on people that didn't bleach their hair at all. So that's not really fair to the product, because that's not what you're supposed to do. Just so you know, my roots right now, I don't know what the camera is picking up, but they are at a level 8 blonde, which is really, if you want a true to box color, you need to get your whole head to a level 8. Any lower than that is gonna kind of distort that color and change what it's supposed to be. So I am expecting the rest of this to be somewhat patchy. I'm okay with that because it is just gonna be a base for me. So now that I've got that little disclaimer out there and done with, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're gonna do is go ahead and pin our hair up and out of our way, and making sure that it's completely off of our neck and forehead. After you've got it all pinned up, you're gonna take some sort of petroleum jelly. I'm using the Tugaboo's Rite Aid brand, but any sort of like Vaseline, whatever petroleum jelly you can find, go ahead and use that. Do not skip this step. I made this mistake years ago and had a pink forehead for weeks. This stuff stains like crazy, so you're gonna wanna make sure that everything's covered that matters to you, and you really vigilantly do this next step. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna dip into your petroleum jelly, and you're gonna coat your forehead and any other place where you really don't want to get this dye. So I'm gonna go all over my forehead, right along that hairline. You're also gonna put it along your ear. You really want to coat that so you don't have any crazy colored ears. And then along the back of the hairline and neck. The next step is taking your gloves. The Splat kit does give you colorist gloves. I just hate them. I find them to be really flimsy and kind of messy, so I always just use my black gloves. I got these from Sally's Beauty Supply. I think for a pack, they're like $3 or $4. They're really not bad, and they're reusable. So those are really great if you guys want those. But you go ahead and put on your gloves. Oh, this one's being a little difficult. Getting stuck on my big man hands. Okay. Okay, now that I have my gloves on, I'm gonna use a mixing bowl. You don't have to do this. You can just take it straight out of the bottle. It comes with a nice little applicator cap that you just cut that top. I just don't like doing it. I prefer putting it in a mixing bowl. That way I can use my brush if need be for my roots to get a nice even coat. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and just empty this into the bowl. Now that it's in a bowl, it's kind of the consistency of pudding, which is different from what I remember with Splat. I think it used to be a little bit thinner, but it's been a while, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But this one is definitely the consistency of pudding. It's got a really nice fruity smell, but I can't place the fruit. It's just that like generic artificial fruit smell, but it smells really pleasant, so it doesn't have like a chemically smell to it, which is nice. So now that you have that in whatever container you want to use, you're just gonna go ahead and start putting it on your hair. I prefer putting it through the bulk of my hair and then kind of going back and pushing it into my roots. It says you don't want to massage it into your roots. I find if I don't, that it's not gonna cover my roots and I'm gonna have blonde patches, which is extremely annoying. I'd rather have a hot scalp with dyed all throughout my skin than have bits of blonde showing. But this is a preference for me. If you like to be a lot cleaner and you're more meticulous, then you can go ahead and apply it with a brush and then go down. For me, I kind of go the opposite way. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna get a little handful of that and I'm just gonna place it on the hair and pull through. I know this is a very messy, haphazard looking process, but it's always worked for me, so why change now? Once you've got a fairly large section done, if I were you, I would just go ahead and clip that up so those hairs are kind of just out of your way and then continue down your head. If you do get a little bit of dye on your skin that you know isn't Vaseline, really quickly wipe that up. You don't want it to sit on your skin for very long because it dyes very, very quickly. Alright, as you can see, I've applied it all over my hair. Now I'm going to grab a damp washcloth and I'm just going to get rid of any of that excess dye that made its way to my forehead and neck and ears. This is a really important step, so don't skip it, because this stuff, like I said before, stains. Now that my skin's cleaned off, I'm gonna go ahead and cover up my hair using a bandana. You can use a shower cap as well, it's probably better, but apparently I'm out. So we're gonna use this old, bad, nasty dyeing bandana instead. The directions say to leave the color on for 30 to 60 minutes, and it says the longer that you leave it on, the bolder and brighter your hair will be. I'm going to be a little bit of a rebel and a rule breaker. I've learned this from Manic Panic over the years. I'm gonna actually leave it on for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Warning, if you do this, it's gonna stain your hair even more. It's gonna be really, really hard to get out, but I'm planning on keeping my hair in the pink to purple color range for an extremely long time. So I'm okay with it staining pretty dark. Just so we're aware, I don't expect it to be just like it is on the box. If I wanted it to be like it was on the box, I would have gone all over to a level 8 blonde, and it obviously was not. There were a lot of different colors in my hair, so I don't think it's gonna be even. I don't think it's gonna be exactly like the girl on the box. I'm okay with that. I'm just really hoping it doesn't go burgundy. That's my only fear. I don't want it to be a really dark burgundy crimson color because it's just gonna be too dark. I want something brighter and bolder. So that's the only thing that I'm a little nervous about, but anything other than that I'm actually okay with. I'm okay with it going more purple, I'm okay with it going more pink. It's kind of just all up in the air at this point, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this process for an hour to an hour and a half, maybe up to 2, and I will rinse it out and we'll see our result. So this is the finished result. I love it. I think it looks amazing. I'm actually really, really pleasantly surprised that it's so consistent throughout the entire head, even though my hair is, as you remember, it was not consistent throughout the entire head. Just so you can see a side-by-side comparison. I mean, pretty spot on. You can definitely see where there was blue tones in my hair. It took a little more purple, but it looks like intentional streaks, so score for that. I'm actually second guessing putting the Manic Panic over it now because I love it so much. So we'll see if I ever get around to that, but I'm kind of digging this right now. The overall process I think was really, really good. Just a couple notes. It took me about an hour and a half of processing to get this saturated. So I did it a little bit more than they tell you to, but it's not damaging to your hair, at least the dye isn't, the bleach is. So my hair actually feels like it's really good condition now. I will say, if your hair is any longer than mine is, you're gonna wanna get 2 packs. It barely made it on mine. I will say I do have a heavy hand when I'm putting in dye because I want it to be really even. But I think if your hair is really thick or any longer than what I have, which is I guess what we would consider like a lob, like a long bob, you're gonna wanna get 2 packs of it because it doesn't go very far. It wasn't really difficult to spread through my hair, but it wasn't as easy as Manic Panic. Manic Panic just kind of glides right through, whereas Splat, you kind of have to work in a little bit more. You've got to work a little bit harder to get it all the way through every strand, but it wasn't impossible either. I wouldn't say it was the most difficult dye I've ever used. It's just also not the easiest. It was very messy. Any dot that you get on your skin, you want to immediately remove. I knew that from previous experience, but once again, I was shocked. There's actually a couple stains. You can see like little speckle spots. I've got some leopard print right here. That's okay, it's not the end of the world. Luckily my hairline, when it's down, kind of is hidden. You want to be really diligent in removing that as quickly as you can. I even scrubbed pretty aggressively at these ones before I got in the shower, and no luck, they're still there. The dye itself was a really wonderful smelling, like fruity berry type smell. It was the consistency of like a thinner pudding for me, and the smell was wonderful. The entire time it was sitting in my hair, I kept just like inhaling, and kind of made you a little bit hungry. It bled a lot in the shower as I was rinsing it out, but it didn't actually stain anything because I made sure to splash water over all the walls and the floor. So it doesn't look like it actually stained anything, but I was also very careful to kind of remove my tracks afterwards. It took a really long time to rinse all the way out, and I will be honest with you, I eventually just got a little bit impatient and stopped waiting. It never went fully clear, but it got to the point where it was pretty much removed. As I know from previous experience with Splat, it's always gonna bleed in the shower. Even when there's very little dye left in your hair, you'll still see remnants of it in the water as you take a shower. So I kind of expected that. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it really helped you out. If it did, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember I come out with new videos every Saturday at noon Eastern time. I'll see you guys later. Bye!